What if true balance isn't something we find outside ourselves, but something hidden deep inside our own minds? What if, beyond what we think or feel, beyond our body and spirit, there's a sacred center inside us that's been misunderstood, forgotten, or kept secret? Today, we're going to talk about the pituitary gland, not in the usual medical way, and not just as a hormone controller. Instead, we'll explore it as something much deeper. This tiny gland at the base of your brain is like a meeting place for two powerful forces inside all of us: the masculine and feminine, the sun and the moon, the sword and the chalice. Ancient cultures understood this well. Civilizations like the Egyptians, the Vedic people of India, and the Hermetic tradition all showed the enlightened person as someone who had balanced these opposite energies within themselves. They spoke about uniting the fire of action with the water of feeling, blending clear thinking with deep intuition. The pituitary gland is like an invisible altar where this inner blending happens. In this conversation, we'll take a journey to discover how this sacred gland can be awakened and balanced, not just to improve your physical health, but to open the door to a real energetic transformation. We'll talk about how both masculine and feminine energies exist in every one of us, no matter our gender, as complementary forces. When we bring these energies together, we heal old wounds and awaken a new level of awareness. Ancient spiritual traditions used the body as a kind of divine laboratory. They understood that when the pituitary gland is activated and balanced, it creates an inner harmony that allows the soul to guide the body with clarity, unity, and compassion. This won't be just a simple explanation. It's like a rite of passage for the mind, body, and spirit. If you're open to it, this journey can take you straight into the heart of your own inner alchemy. So take a deep breath and let this ancient knowledge help you remember the balance you may have forgotten. For thousands of years, wise people from East and West have known that the human body is not just a biological machine, but a sacred map. Each organ and energy point is like a doorway to higher consciousness. The pituitary gland, called the master gland today, because it controls many hormones, was once seen as the throne of spiritual will, the place where the soul begins to balance the body and create wholeness. In ancient Egypt, this gland was symbolized by the eye of Horus, with the central part of the eye matching the pituitary's location in the brain. Horus, the god connected with clear vision and the joining of sun and moon, wasn't just a solar god, but a symbol of the person who had united inner opposites. The all-seeing eye wasn't just a sign of watching or guarding, it stood for integration and harmony. In Taoist teachings, there's the idea of the crystal palace, a spiritual center inside the brain made up of the pineal gland, the pituitary gland, and the thalamus. While the pineal is linked to spiritual vision, the pituitary was seen as the activator of life's refined processes, helping energy, called chai or ki, to move up the spine and feed the soul. This balance of fire and water, of yang and yin, was a core part of Taoist internal alchemy. In the Hermetic tradition, the famous saying, "as above, so below," reflects the idea that the body mirrors the cosmos. Their secret writings talked about a temple between the eyebrows and a hidden seal inside the head. Activating this seal was believed to let the inner alchemist transform matter into spirit and spirit into light. Many scholars think this seal points to the pituitary area, which connects the logical left side of the brain and the intuitive right side. Even in Jewish and Christian mysticism, certain Kabbalistic ideas see the pituitary as the balance point between two pillars of the tree of life, the pillar of severity and the pillar of mercy, which meet at the center called Tiferet. This center holds balance and guides the soul to bring opposing forces into harmony. All these ancient traditions from different parts of the world and different times seem to agree on one important truth. Fully waking up our consciousness depends on balancing the masculine and feminine energies inside us. This sacred inner work happens at the pituitary gland, a hidden jewel in the dark cave of the skull, waiting for the light of conscious attention to awaken it. Today, we often separate reason from intuition, body from spirit, and action from stillness. But ancient wisdom teaches that only those who unite their inner sun and moon can live as whole beings. The pituitary gland is exactly where this fusion takes place. Picture a scale hanging right in the center of your being. On one side is masculine energy, the fire that drives action, logic, order, and direction. On the other side is feminine energy, the water that flows with intuition, sensitivity, creativity, and openness. Every person, whether man or woman, has both sides inside them, and the pituitary gland is the powerful, subtle point where these two meet. Located between the two halves of the brain, the pituitary acts like a quiet mediator. Its spot in the brain is no accident. It rests in a small, bony cavity called the sella turcica at the base of the skull, with the pineal gland behind it and the hypothalamus above. This special place shows its role as a bridge between the physical body and higher spiritual purpose. If we think of the pituitary as an internal antenna, it can pick up higher energies and frequencies, but only if the inner sun and moon are talking to each other instead of fighting. If masculine energy takes over too much, a person can become overly logical, rigid, and cut off from their feelings. They might move and act, but without depth or true listening. If feminine energy dominates too much, the person may become scattered, overwhelmed by emotions, and unable to take clear action. The water spills over without direction. True spiritual growth doesn't mean getting rid of one side to favor the other. It means connecting and blending both through inner alchemy. This process helps you become whole. So, understanding and awakening the pituitary gland can be a key to this transformation. It's not just about physical health or hormones. It's about balancing your inner fire and water, your sun and moon, your masculine and feminine energies. When you do this, you create a deep harmony that opens the way to new awareness and a life lived with clarity and compassion. This balance is a timeless truth that ancient wisdom has passed down to us. Now, it's up to you to explore this hidden center within yourself. Awaken that quiet power and walk the path of inner alchemy toward true balance and wholeness. The pituitary gland, when awakened through simple practices like mindful breathing, focused meditation on the forehead, or imagining white or golden light, starts working as a powerful transformation center. This change isn't just symbolic. It can have real effects on your body and mind. Some experts believe that by balancing our masculine and feminine energies, the pituitary releases special chemicals like endorphins and enkephalins. These substances help us feel peaceful, clear-headed, and expanded inside. Science is still exploring these ideas, but for centuries, spiritual traditions have pointed in the same direction. From a more subtle view, the pituitary represents the union of two key energy channels in the body, called Ida and Pingala. These channels rise up the spine, twisting around each other like snakes, symbolizing the balance of yin and yang. When these energies are in harmony, energy flows smoothly up the central channel known as Sushumna, reaching the forehead area where the pituitary sits. This spot is called the sixth chakra or ajna, and is considered the center of inner vision and insight. It's no accident that when life energy consciously rises to this point, people experience sharper intuition, clearer dreams, heightened sensitivity to others, and even spiritual awareness. But all of this depends on one key thing: Our inner yin and yang, our feminine and masculine sides, must accept and embrace each other. They aren't enemies or opposites that cancel each other out. Instead, they are partners in a beautiful dance within the soul. In this way, the pituitary gland is more than just a small organ. It silently witnesses the moment you stop dividing yourself inside and choose to live with energetic wholeness. When the soul begins to guide from this place of balance, life itself seems to shift to a higher frequency. On the spiritual path, there's a turning point when you stop just trying to fix your feelings or improve your thinking and instead let your soul take charge of your body. This shift doesn't come from gathering more information or going through mechanical exercises. It happens when your inner harmony reaches a point where your soul finds the body is ready to be its perfect instrument. Then the pituitary becomes the subtle throne of the soul, living fully in the body. Remember, the pituitary doesn't work alone. It's part of a trio that includes the pineal gland, the spiritual gland, and the hypothalamus, which connects emotions to the nervous system. The pituitary receives messages, decodes them, and sends out instructions. It's like a quiet alchemist, turning raw energy into both biological and spiritual order. When the pituitary is active and balanced, you'll notice clear and deep changes. Your mind stops being torn between what you should do and what you want to do. A clear inner guidance appears, like a compass aligning logic and intuition. Emotions stop controlling you and instead become sacred messages. They soften, heal, and express themselves with maturity. Your body becomes more sensitive, your immune system strengthens, your sleep improves, and your life energy stabilizes. But something even greater happens. Your higher self starts to emerge. As the pituitary vibrates in harmony, the gap between who you are now and who you want to be begins to close. Suddenly, things become simple and natural. You don't have to force yourself to act with integrity. It just happens. You don't have to try to understand others. You just feel them. Intuition, compassion, and action become one seamless flow. Many traditions describe this as the soul's rule over the body. In Hermetic teachings, it's the rising serpent moving toward the crown. In Hinduism, it's the awakening of the Ajna chakra. In esoteric Christianity, it's the symbol of Christ as the living spirit taking form but never forgetting its source. When the pituitary is aligned, it becomes the command center for a life led by spirit. Fear no longer drives your decisions, and scattered thoughts stop pulling you in different directions. Instead, your mind serves your soul, and the energy that was once divided flows toward higher purposes. The pituitary also plays a special role in the balance between your inner masculine and feminine energies. You can think of it as the child born from the sacred union of your logical left brain and creative right brain, the solar father and lunar mother within you. When these parts recognize and love each other, a new kind of awareness arises, one that doesn't fight or divide but simply shines its light. This is why advanced spiritual practices don't try to force the pituitary awake through effort alone. Instead, they use devotion, quiet reflection, and deep presence. Awakening the pituitary is less about conquering and more about surrendering, letting the soul that has always been there find a voice worthy of being heard by the body. When this awakening happens, you recognize it not by flashy feelings, but by a profound inner peace. Everything you do carries the mark of the awakened soul. This is true awakening, acting not from the small I, but from the unified state of being. Understanding the spiritual power of the pituitary gland is just the first step. The next and most important step is bringing that understanding into your daily life. True spirituality isn't only about moments of inspiration, it's about the habits, choices, and small actions that bring your body, mind, and soul into alignment. Here are 5 practical ways to balance your inner masculine and feminine energies and activate the pituitary as your center for spiritual transformation. 1. Practice conscious breathing focused on your brow center. The pituitary gland sits right between your eyebrows, in the area often called the third eye. Spend at least 5 minutes a day doing deep, mindful breathing while focusing on this spot. Imagine a silvery or violet light shining there. As you breathe in, picture that light flowing into your forehead. As you breathe out, feel it spreading through your mind and nervous system. This simple practice not only calms your thoughts, but also trains your focus to become sharper and more aware. Awakening your pituitary begins with steady, loving attention to this energy center. 2. Balance action and receptivity in your daily life. Look at how much of your energy goes into doing, planning, and achieving. This is your masculine energy. Then notice how much time you spend resting, feeling, or simply being. This is your feminine energy. Our culture often values productivity above all else, but true spiritual growth needs time to listen inwardly. Make space for silence, reflection, or creative activities without pressure or goals. By nurturing this quieter, receptive side of yourself, you prepare your pituitary gland to better receive guidance from your soul. 3. Align your intentions with your actions. Every time you make decisions that go against your gut feeling, it creates inner tension. This mismatch can cause confusion, mental fatigue, and drain your energy. The pituitary gland works best when your thoughts, words, and actions are in harmony. Try asking yourself daily, does what I'm about to do reflect who I truly am? If the answer is no, make a small adjustment, even a tiny one helps. By doing this, you're strengthening your inner self and creating a smoother flow of energy. 4. Avoid habits that disrupt your hormonal and energetic balance. Certain habits can throw off your body's natural rhythm, especially your hormones. Eating too much refined sugar, spending late nights in front of screens, and being under constant stress all disrupt the delicate balance your pituitary manages. Instead, bring in restorative practices like drinking herbal teas that calm your system, taking salt baths to relax, meditating regularly, spending time in nature, or listening to soothing sounds. Treat your body like a temple, protecting the sacred space within you. 5. Respect and channel your sexual energy. Mindfully sexual energy is a powerful force inside you. When it's wasted without purpose, it doesn't rise to energize higher centers like the pituitary. Instead of repressing this energy, learn to transform it through conscious practices such as circular breathing or energy exercises like Qigong. These techniques help move your inner fire upward, turning desire into devotion. This process isn't about denial, but about using your vital energy to fuel your spiritual growth. Your body is the only temple you'll ever have, and your greatest teacher lives inside you, not in books or outside sources, but in the quiet balance of your own center. When you commit to this path, the pituitary gland doesn't just wake up, it reveals your true self. Behind the daily rush of emotions, desires, and fears, there is a silent core that watches. This core isn't your mind or your feelings or your body. Many call it the soul, the essence, or the divine spark. But for this core to express itself, it needs a clear channel. The pituitary gland is that channel. It's no accident that the pituitary sits at the center of your head, where your brain's hemispheres meet, where energies converge, and where ancient symbols point to the meeting of earth and sky, biology and spirit. Activating the pituitary is not a quick fix. It's a journey of inner balance and reconciliation. Each time you choose not to get stuck at one extreme, each time you listen to your intuition without ignoring logic, each time you move forward firmly without shutting down your feelings, you're sending a signal. You're inviting your soul to lead from a place of balance. This balance doesn't mean no conflicts or struggles. It means being conscious while they happen. It's not about controlling the masculine or silencing the feminine, but about letting both dance together inside you. When that happens, your body stops being a battlefield and becomes a sacred space, and the pituitary becomes the altar where this harmony happens. This isn't just theory. It's about putting these ideas into daily practice. It's focusing on your brow center during meditation. It's noticing when you're out of balance and adjusting. It's making time for quiet moments in a busy day. It's showing compassion to yourself when you stumble. Many people look for spiritual breakthroughs outside themselves, in rituals, substances, or extraordinary experiences. But the real gateway has always been inside you. The threshold to this inner door is called integration, the blending and balancing of all parts of yourself. When your life is guided by your soul, balanced between your inner fire and water, you don't just change, you change the world around you. You begin to radiate something others notice but can't quite name. It's something sacred. If you've made it this far, it's no accident. Maybe your soul has been quietly calling you for years. Maybe today is the day you finally decide to listen. If this message feels right to you, consider subscribing, liking, and sharing this knowledge with others who feel there's more inside them than they've been told. Remember, every conscious choice you make lights a spark in the world. I'll see you in the next video where we'll keep exploring the hidden maps of the soul. Imagine there's an ancient book holding the secrets of the universe, knowledge so powerful that once you grasp and use it, you could completely change your life. What if I told you this book actually exists and has been hidden right in front of us for centuries? That book is called the Kybalion. It's a mysterious text that shares 7 universal laws, principles that govern everything, from how stars move in the sky to the thoughts running through your mind. These laws aren't just ideas or opinions. They are unchanging truths studied by wise people, mystics, and alchemists for generations. So what exactly are these laws? How can they affect your life? These laws connect us to the very essence of existence, showing us how to work with the energy of the universe and shape our reality however we want. Understanding them is like cracking the secret code of the universe, the blueprint behind everything we are and everything we experience. In this discussion, we'll explore the mystery of the Kybalion and take a close look at each of the 7 laws. We'll dig into where they come from, what they mean, and most importantly, how you can apply them in your everyday life to understand the world better and discover more about yourself. Get ready for an exciting journey into hidden knowledge that will challenge how you see reality and open doors to wisdom that, once known, you won't be able to ignore. Are you ready to uncover secrets that have guided seekers and spiritual explorers for thousands of years? To understand the Kybalion and its teachings, we first need to go back to the origins of Hermetic wisdom, a type of ancient knowledge linked to one of the most mysterious figures in history, Hermes Trismegistus. His name means Hermes, the thrice great, and it's said he represents a blend of the Egyptian god Thoth, the god of wisdom, and the Greek god Hermes, messenger of the gods. The writings attributed to him form the foundation of many spiritual and philosophical traditions. Hermes Trismegistus is believed to have taught alchemy, astrology, and magic to initiates in Egypt and Greece. This knowledge gave birth to what we call Hermeticism, a way of thinking that influenced Gnosticism, the Kabbalah, and many secret schools during the Middle Ages and the Renaissance. But what is the Kybalion itself? This book was published in 1908 by 3 anonymous authors, calling themselves the 3 Initiates. Their goal was to sum up the heart of Hermetic wisdom into 7 basic laws. They didn't just want to share abstract ideas, they wanted to give a guide for understanding and working with the invisible forces that shape the universe. Over the centuries, these teachings were kept safe by secret groups to prevent them from being misused. Still, their message spread, becoming a key part of modern spiritual thought. Famous thinkers like Isaac Newton, Carl Jung, and Aleister Crowley studied Hermetic principles, recognizing their deep ties to science, psychology, and metaphysics. Today, the Kybalion continues to attract those curious about life beyond the surface. Its 7 laws present a view of the universe as a vast web of connected energies and vibrations, with our mind playing a major role in creating the reality we live in. Now that we've covered the background and importance of the Kybalion, let's dive into the heart of the matter, the 7 Hermetic laws, and see how they can change how you see the world. The 7 laws are basic truths that govern how the universe works. According to the Kybalion, understanding these laws helps us align ourselves with the cosmic order and change how we experience reality. Let's start with the first 3 laws and their impact on our lives. First is the law of mentalism. It says, "The all is mind." This is the foundation of Hermetic philosophy. It means that the whole universe is a creation of a universal mind, and that everything we experience begins with thought. In other words, reality is like a mental picture. To get a clearer picture, think about dreaming. When you're asleep, you create entire worlds in your mind filled with people, places, and events. But those things exist only inside your dream. According to the law of mentalism, the same thing happens with the reality we live in. Everything we see and experience is a projection of cosmic consciousness. This law also works in our everyday life. Our thoughts shape what we experience. If you focus on lack, sadness, or limits, that's what you'll attract. But if you learn to control your mind and think about abundance, happiness, and growth, you'll start living in a world that feels more balanced and positive. The second law is the law of correspondence. It says, "As above, so below. As within, so without." This means everything in the universe follows similar patterns and everything is connected. What happens on a large scale in the universe also happens on a smaller scale in our lives. For example, just as planets revolve around the sun, atoms orbit a nucleus. Likewise, what's going on inside us emotionally reflects in our outer world. If there's turmoil inside, life will feel chaotic. But if we create peace inside, the world around us becomes calmer too. The third law is the law of vibration. It tells us that nothing rests, everything moves and vibrates. Everything, whether it's solid matter, energy, or thoughts, has its own vibration. Different vibrations attract or repel each other, which explains why some things come together naturally and others don't. For example, feelings like love and joy vibrate at higher frequencies, while fear and anger vibrate lower. If you raise your vibration by focusing on positive feelings, you attract similar energies into your life. Together, these first 3 laws help us see that our minds and feelings play a huge role in shaping the reality we live in. By mastering them, we gain the power to influence the world around us. Later, we can explore the other 4 laws and how they continue this journey of understanding and transformation. In the meantime, think about this. If the universe is mental in nature, connected through patterns, and constantly vibrating, then you are deeply connected to everything around you. Your thoughts and feelings are not just inside you. They reach out and shape the whole world. This idea opens up a new way to look at life, one full of possibilities. This idea teaches us to look closely at nature and the universe to better understand ourselves. It also reminds us that by changing what's going on inside us, we can change what we experience on the outside. Next up is the law of vibration. This law says that nothing ever really stops. Everything is always moving and shaking, even if we can't see it. From solid objects like rocks to invisible things like our thoughts and feelings, everything vibrates. The difference between a rock and an emotion is how fast or slow they vibrate. What's cool about this law is that it helps explain why our emotions and thoughts actually affect what happens around us. When we feel scared, sad, or angry, we tend to attract more of the same kind of energy. But when we lift ourselves up with feelings like love, gratitude, and happiness, we start to bring more good things into our lives. Science today agrees with this too. Quantum physics tells us that everything at the smallest level is just energy vibrating at different speeds. So if we learn how to raise our vibration, we can actually change what we experience in the world. These first three laws give us a powerful way to see the universe. Everything is made of mind or energy. Everything is connected, and everything vibrates at different levels. Now, let's look at the other four laws that explain how the universe moves in patterns, how cause and effect work, and how opposites balance each other out. Earlier, we talked about how the universe is mental, how everything connects across different levels, and how vibration is everywhere. Now, we'll explore the laws that show us how the universe flows, how opposites actually relate, and how we can rise above cause and effect by using our willpower. The fourth law is the law of polarity. This means everything has two sides, two poles. Every experience, feeling, or thing has its opposite. But here's the trick. These opposites aren't completely different. They are really the same thing, just at opposite ends of a spectrum. For example, cold and hot are not totally separate. They're just degrees of temperature. The same goes for light and dark, love and hate, sadness and happiness. What this law teaches us is that we can move along this scale. If we're feeling scared, we can move toward courage. If we're full of anger, we can choose to shift toward love. It's not about getting rid of one side, but learning to move between the two with awareness. Fifth is the law of rhythm. Everything has a natural flow like a rhythm. Think about nature. Day turns to night. The tide comes in and goes out. The seasons change over and over. This law tells us that everything follows cycles going back and forth between different states. In our own lives, we also have ups and downs, times when things feel great and times when we face challenges. Understanding this law helps us handle life better because we realize no feeling or situation lasts forever. When tough times come, it helps to remember they're part of life's rhythm and new good times will come again. Sixth, the law of cause and effect. This one's pretty straightforward. Every cause has an effect, and every effect has a cause. Nothing just happens randomly. Everything that occurs is connected to something that came before it. This law is the foundation for the idea of karma. What you put out into the world, you get back. If we act with kindness and harmony, we'll see positive results. If we act selfishly or out of ignorance, we'll eventually face the consequences. But this law also gives us power. By choosing our thoughts and actions carefully, we can shape our own reality. We aren't stuck with a set destiny. We get to create our future. Finally, the seventh law is the law of gender. This law says that gender energy exists in everything, not just people. The universe works with two forces that balance each other, the masculine and the feminine. The masculine is about action, creativity, and moving outward. The feminine is about receiving, intuition, and nurturing. Inside each of us, no matter our physical gender, these two energies are present. Our growth comes from balancing them. When we find harmony between these forces inside, we unlock our real creative power. That's when true creativity, manifestation, and wisdom happen. Knowing these laws is just the start. The real magic comes when we put them into practice every day. By living with these ideas in mind, we can change our lives for the better and feel more connected to the natural order of the universe. In the next part, we'll talk about how to use these laws in real life to create more peace, strength, and spiritual growth. Just knowing the Hermetic laws isn't enough. Their real power shows up when we actually use them in our everyday lives. These laws are like tools that help us see the world differently, improve our reality, and raise our awareness. But how do we put them into practice? Let's break it down, law by law. First, the law of mentalism says that everything in the universe starts in the mind. What you think and believe shapes your experience. If you want to change your life, start by changing your mind. Each morning, take a few minutes to imagine how you want your day to go. Use positive statements to reprogram your subconscious mind. Pay attention to your thoughts and choose to focus on what you want instead of what you fear. This simple shift in mindset can transform how you experience everything. Next is the law of correspondence. This law is about patterns. What happens on a big scale is reflected on a smaller scale. Your outside world reflects your inner world. Look around and notice if the same situations keep showing up in your life. Are there patterns in your relationships, your work, or your emotions? If something isn't working, the answer is to change what's going on inside you. When you change your internal energy, the outside changes too. The law of vibration tells us that everything is in motion, vibrating all the time. If you want to attract positive experiences, you need to raise your own vibration. Surround yourself with things that lift your energy. Listen to peaceful music, avoid noisy chaos, and spend time with people who bring good vibes. Practicing gratitude is one of the best ways to raise your frequency because it's one of the highest emotions you can feel. The law of polarity teaches us that everything has two sides. Every feeling or situation has its opposite, but these opposites are really just different degrees of the same thing. Think about cold and heat. They're not completely different. They're just on opposite ends of the temperature scale. The same goes for love and hate, sadness and happiness, light and dark. When you feel fear, don't fight it. Instead, transform it into courage by taking action. When you're sad, try shifting your thoughts towards something higher and more positive. Every challenge hides an opportunity if you look for it. Then there's the law of rhythm, which shows us that life moves in cycles. Things go up and down, just like the tides or the seasons. Understanding this law helps us accept life's natural flow. When you're going through a tough time, remember it's temporary and part of a larger cycle. Don't resist it and don't cling to good moments either. Both will pass. When things are good, prepare for what's next. When things are hard, breathe and let the cycle run its course without forcing anything. The law of cause and effect reminds us that nothing happens by accident. Every action creates a reaction. This is the foundation of karma. What you put out is what you get back. The key is to act with purpose and awareness. Before making choices, think about their long-term effects. Be proactive, don't just react to what happens around you. Plant the seeds you want to grow and be patient as they develop. Finally, the law of gender explains that masculine and feminine energies exist in everything. These two forces work together to create balance and wholeness. Masculine energy is about doing, creating, and moving forward. Feminine energy is about receiving, feeling, and being patient. Both energies live inside us, no matter our physical gender. Our spiritual growth comes from balancing these energies. When you harmonize your masculine and feminine sides, your creative power grows stronger. That's when you can really manifest your goals and wisdom. Putting these laws into action changes everything. Life stops feeling like random chaos and becomes a system you can understand and work with. It's not about magic or superstition. It's about getting in sync with how the universe really works. When you know these laws, you stop struggling against life and start flowing with its deep wisdom. We've covered the 7 key principles from the Kabbalion that explain how the universe operates. These aren't just abstract ideas, they're powerful keys that can open a new way of living and seeing the world. Mentalism shows us that our experience starts in the mind. Correspondence helps us spot the hidden patterns in life. Vibration teaches us how to raise our energy. Polarity reveals that opposites are connected and how to turn negative into positive. Rhythm reminds us life moves in cycles. Cause and effect gives us the power to shape our destiny, and gender connects us to our creative strength. When you live by these laws, you become the architect of your own reality. You stop feeling like a victim of fate and start acting with awareness, working with the cosmic forces that shape everything. But here's the most important question: what are you going to do with this knowledge? True understanding comes not just from reading or hearing about these laws, but from living them. It's not enough to just know. Practice is what makes it real. Use these laws in your thoughts, your choices, and your actions every day. If something here has sparked something inside you, that's just the beginning. There's still so much more to discover, more secrets to unlock, and more ways to grow your awareness. If you want to keep diving deeper into Hermetic teachings, spirituality, and hidden wisdom, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with friends who are curious about life's bigger questions. Drop a comment below about which law stood out to you and how you plan to use it in your life. I'll see you in the next video, where we'll keep exploring the mysteries of the universe together. Imagine you're born and given a book. Not just any book. It has no title on the cover and no author's name inside. The pages start out blank, like they're waiting for you to write your story. But as you grow up, you realize some pages were already written before you even got here. Who wrote them? What secrets do they hold? This book is like a manual for your soul, a guide filled with hidden wisdom, paths, and keys to understanding who you really are and why you're here. The catch? No one ever showed you how to read it. For ages, spiritual teachers and thinkers have tried to figure out the mystery of the soul. Ancient writings and traditions talk about what the soul is, its purpose, and its secrets. But the real key isn't in dusty old books on a shelf. It's in the signs your soul has been leaving for you all along. In this video, I'll take you on a journey to rediscover this forgotten soul wisdom. We'll explore what the soul is, why it's here, and how you can start reading your own soul's manual. If you've ever felt like there's something more than what your eyes can see, if you sense your life has a deeper meaning but can't quite put your finger on it, this is for you. Come along as we uncover the deepest mysteries of your life and learn to read the hidden book inside you. The idea that the soul has a purpose and a path isn't new. From ancient times to today, people have talked about a higher knowledge guiding us. Ancient civilizations believed humans are more than just bodies. They hold an immortal part, a divine spark that grows and evolves. For example, the Egyptians believed in 2 parts of the soul called Ba and Ka, which had to come together for eternal life. Their temples were places where people went through spiritual challenges to remember who they really were. In Hinduism, there's the idea of Atman, the individual soul that's part of Brahman, the universal spirit. Indian sacred texts, like the Upanishads, teach that knowing your true self is the way to break free from the cycle of birth and death. If you know your Atman, you know the whole universe. The Greeks thought about the soul through philosophy. Plato described the soul as a charioteer trying to control two horses, one wild and driven by impulses, the other calm and guided by reason. He believed the soul's goal was to remember forgotten truths and rise toward the world of perfect ideas. But where does the idea of the soul having a manual or a life plan come from? In Jewish Kabbalah, there's a concept called tikkun, or soul repair, across multiple lifetimes. Each person comes into this world with a mission, and clues to that mission are hidden in their life story. Hermetic teachings say, as above, so below, meaning each person reflects the universe and their life is written in the stars through patterns that can be understood. Medieval alchemists talked about the great work, a spiritual process where the soul learns to decode the hidden messages in its own existence. Today, many modern spiritual practices like astrology, numerology, and past life readings try to unlock this soul manual. Is our fate already written? Or do we have to learn to read the signs and choose wisely? If there is a manual for the soul, how do we find it? The answer is simpler than you think. Your soul's manual is inside you, in your life, your experiences, and the signals you get every day. The problem is, we've forgotten how to read it. Ancient cultures had spiritual maps, tools to understand the soul's messages, but nowadays, we often live on autopilot, missing those signs and feeling disconnected from our true purpose. The soul doesn't speak in regular words. It talks in symbols. Carl Jung called this the language of archetypes and the collective unconscious, a hidden system of meanings that shows up in dreams, visions, and meaningful coincidences. These coincidences, called synchronicities, aren't just random. They carry messages. Have you ever thought about someone and then got a call from them right at that moment, or noticed the same numbers popping up everywhere? These are your soul's ways of getting your attention. For example, in shamanic traditions, animals that keep showing up in your life are seen as spiritual messengers. An owl might mean hidden wisdom, a wolf could remind you to trust your gut, and a butterfly might be a sign of change. Learning to recognize these signs is the first step to understanding your soul's manual. Another important part of your soul's manual is your own life. Have you noticed the same patterns happening over and over? Relationships ending the same way, problems that keep coming back, or situations that feel familiar but different. This isn't by accident. These patterns are karmic cycles, lessons your soul needs to learn to grow. In Buddhism, karma isn't punishment, it's a teacher. Every challenge is a chance to start a new chapter. If you keep attracting the same toxic relationship, it means there's a wound you need to heal. If you're stuck in jobs that don't feel right, your soul might be telling you to find your real calling. The Akashic records say that all your life experiences are stored in a universal energy field, and tapping into that helps you understand why you go through what you do. Everyone is born with natural talents and gifts. Why do some people feel drawn to music, writing, or healing? Why do we have certain interests, even as kids? Your talents are clues in your soul's manual. They're the gifts you brought with you before birth that connect you to your purpose. Astrology shows this in your birth chart, especially the North Node, which points to your soul's mission. Ignoring your talents is like ignoring a map showing where to go. When you stray from your true path, it leads to frustration and feeling empty inside. The soul's manual isn't a physical book. It's written in symbols, life experiences, and your natural gifts. But to understand it, you have to learn its language. Now that we know the soul talks through symbols, patterns, and talents, the big question is, how do we read these messages clearly? Often, emotional blocks, limiting beliefs, and everyday distractions keep us from tuning in to this sacred knowledge. Next, we'll look at how to unlock these hidden messages and what to do if you feel out of touch with your soul. The soul doesn't shout, it whispers. In today's noisy world, its voice is often drowned out by our busy minds and daily stress. Spiritual traditions teach that to connect with the soul, we need stillness and focus. In Zen Buddhism, there's the idea of satori, a sudden moment of clarity that happens when the mind quiets and opens to deep insight. In Sufi practice, dancers and repeated mantras help reach higher states of awareness. The key is you don't find soul knowledge by searching desperately. It comes when you learn to listen quietly. Meditation, spending time in nature, and deep self-reflection are tools that help the soul's manual slowly reveal itself. Sometimes we can't tap into our inner wisdom because something's blocking us. That something is usually fear. Fear of facing who we really are. Fear of letting go of old beliefs that felt safe. Fear of dealing with past pain or mistakes. Shamanic traditions say the biggest blocks come from soul wounds. These wounds might come from this life or past lives, and they show up as repeating patterns, emotional struggles, or feeling stuck. To unlock your soul's manual, you have to heal these hidden parts. Shadow work, a practice popularized by Carl Jung, means facing the parts of yourself you've pushed away. When you accept and integrate them, you free trapped energy and help your soul find clarity. Besides meditation and shadow work, there are other spiritual tools that help us understand the soul's messages. The Akashic records, which hold the soul's memory. Spiritual astrology, which shows karmic patterns and life purpose. Tarot and oracle cards, which don't predict the future but reflect where your soul is right now. And dreams, which use symbols to reveal hidden truths from your unconscious. The soul's manual is always with you, but you need to learn how to read its messages. Silence, healing, and spiritual tools are the keys to unlocking this wisdom. Understanding your soul's manual isn't just some mystical idea, it's a guide to transforming your everyday life. But how do you use this knowledge daily? How do you align your choices, feelings, and actions with your soul's purpose? Here are 3 simple keys to help you live more authentically and true to yourself. 1. Pay attention to yourself. The first step is to become aware. Your life is full of clues about who you are and where you're headed, but if you don't notice, you'll miss them. Keep a journal and write down anything that stands out. Like seeing the same number over and over, facing similar challenges, or feeling a strong connection to certain people or places for no clear reason. Over time, you'll see patterns that reveal messages from your soul. 2. Make choices that fit who you really are. Many of us feel lost because our decisions don't match our true selves. We pick based on fear, what others expect, or what feels comfortable instead of trusting our gut and what truly lights us up. When you have to make a big choice, ask yourself, does this option expand me or hold me back? Does it bring me closer to who I really want to be or push me away? Imagine there's no fear. What would you choose then? If you're unsure, close your eyes and picture each option. Pay attention to how your body feels. Peace and excitement mean yes. Heaviness or discomfort might mean no. Your body is a way your soul talks to you, so learning to listen can help guide your decisions. 3. Heal what's blocking you from your inner wisdom. You can't read your soul's manual clearly if fear, anger, or emotional pain cloud your vision. Healing is necessary to unlock your inner knowledge. Write down the fears, limiting beliefs, or wounds you feel are holding you back. Say them out loud and thank yourself for what those experiences have taught you. Then safely burn the paper as a way of releasing those blocks and moving forward. Healing practices like meditation, energy work, shadow work, or forgiveness can help you clear away what keeps your soul from speaking clearly. Knowing the soul has a manual is just the first step. What really matters is using that knowledge to change your life and live with purpose. Along this journey, we've explored the idea that each of us carries a hidden manual, a sacred map guiding us through experiences, signs, and lessons that help us grow spiritually. But here's one last important truth. The soul's manual isn't fixed or set in stone. It's being written all the time, with every choice you make. Many spiritual traditions say destiny is fixed and the soul follows a set path. But life is way more mysterious and amazing than that. Your manual isn't a closed book. It's a blank scroll that fills up with every step, every experience, and every new awakening you have. Ancient mystics say the biggest trick in life is forgetting who we really are. From birth, we forget our divine nature and get lost in the distractions and illusions of the world. But when you start to understand your soul's language, when you notice meaningful coincidences, listen to your body, heal old wounds, and live authentically, you begin to remember. Knowing something without doing anything about it doesn't help. Now that you see the soul's manual is alive and always changing, the question is, what will you do with that? I invite you to make a promise to yourself. Pay attention to the signs around you. Life is always talking, but only those who are awake can hear it. Make choices that match your true self. Don't just live on autopilot. Every choice is a chance to write a new page in your soul's story. Heal what needs healing. Don't be afraid to face your shadow. Every healed wound is a clearer page in your story. Live with purpose. You're not here by accident. Find what lights you up and make it your mission. Here's one last secret. You already have all the answers inside you. Many people look for answers outside, in books, teachers, or belief systems. But the truth is, your answers have always been within. The manual of your soul has been with you from the start, waiting for you to open it. So the real question is, are you ready? If this message speaks to you, join our community of truth seekers. Subscribe, like, and share this video so more people can wake up to their own path. Together, let's keep exploring the mysteries of life. And ask yourself, what signals has your soul been sending that you haven't noticed yet?